I wanted to talk to you about abortion. And the reason I'm talking to you about abortion is that I'm an OBGYN. I practiced in this area in Various Center in Niles, Michigan for about 10 years, and then took on a leadership position in the American Association of Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists. So while I am still a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist, I do mostly applaud work, and that involves talking about how abortion affects women, as well as how abortion affects the human being in their womb. So we are in a new era, and that's why I was invited to talk to you and just update you, just to explain what's happened over the last year and where we go from here. Let's talk first about what happened in our country 50 years ago, and then just this summer. Well, you probably are all familiar with the court case Roe versus Wade, but there was a second court case, Doe versus Bolton, that also happened 50 years ago. What Roe versus Wade did was to say that all the laws in all the states which prohibited abortion were no longer able to be enforced. What they said was the state can't make any law in the first trimester. In the second trimester, Roe said the state can make some laws based on the safety of the mom. And in the third trimester, the state can make some laws based on the possibility of fetal life. But at the same time that Roe was issued, all of those possibilities involved a health exception. Okay? So that the state can't make any law that affects or where the woman has to have an exception for her health. What does that mean? Well, on the same day that Roe versus Wade was decided, there was a second Supreme Court case called Doe versus Bolton. And Doe versus Bolton defined health in the context of abortion. And Doe versus Bolton said that health means any physical, psychological, familial, or any other reason. So it was the combination of Roe versus Wade and Doe versus Bolton, which not only struck down the laws that existed all across the country prohibiting killing human beings in the womb, but also said that any exception for any law that is made has to have this health exception, which means any reason whatsoever. It was the combination of the two that legalized abortion throughout 9 months of pregnancy through birth. Well, what happened this summer? The Dobbs decision happened. It was an amazing act of honesty on the part of the Supreme Court. They said Roe versus Wade claimed that there was a constitutional right to abortion. There isn't a constitutional right to abortion, and there's never been a constitutional right to abortion. Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court made it up, as did making up Doe versus Bolton. So out of thin air, and the Dobbs case said, look, we should never have gotten into this in the first place. Medicine is the responsibility of each individual state, and each individual state is responsible for making laws concerning abortion, not the Supreme Court. So this was an amazing thing that happened. It's wonderful that finally we have some sanity. But Dobbs is not the end of the discussion about abortion. Dobbs is only the beginning. As we saw in Michigan, some states, like Michigan, are going to say killing human beings in a mom's womb is a constitutional right. That's what we unfortunately decided in November. Other states have said, no, we're going to protect those human beings in the womb. And so now we're in a very long 50-state discussion, debate that finally gives us the possibility of talking about what abortion is and what it does to women and why it should be banned all across this country.